Coming up to the midway point on the SportsMax Zone for this Friday, all roads lead to the T-Mobile Arena in Paradise, Nevada on Saturday night, where the Gypsy King Tyson Fury and the Bronze Bomber Deontay Wilder will clash for the third time in a heavyweight boxing showdown. The men had previously fought to a draw in their first meeting in December 2018 before the Briton. Fury scored a sensational TKO win over his American adversary in February of last year. The 33-year-old Fury, who holds the WBC and Ring Magazine heavyweight title, says just like he did 20 months ago, he will embarrass Wilder. Tyson Fury said this: "I'm living in Wilder's mind rent-free the whole time. Every time he looks in the mirror, he sees Tyson Fury. Every time he goes to bed, before he closes his eyes, he sees the Gypsy King. When I beat him this time, his career is over. He really needs a win, but he ain't getting it. That's for sure." Now, Deontay Wilder's reputation has lost some of its luster that it had before, following that second clash with the Gypsy King in February of last year. But the 35-year-old says the changes he has made to his coaching staff, well, they've helped him to get in the kind of shape to avenge his February humiliation. This is what Deontay Wilder says: "This time around, there's a different feeling all the way around. Just all the surrounding around me, the atmosphere, just the energy as a whole, and I'm looking forward to putting on a great performance." And here are some of the numbers for both men heading into the fight. Wilder, 41 wins, all by knockouts, against one defeat, and there was that one draw as well against Fury. And Tyson Fury, undefeated in 30 fights with 21 knockouts. And he has one draw on his log as well. So they're two very, very tall men. Fury is like 6 feet 9 inches, and Wilder is like 6 feet 7 inches. Joining us now to discuss this big showdown, boxing analyst Al Hamilton. Sometimes he's based in Jamaica, at other times he's in Ghana, sometimes in London. Al, welcome to the SportsMax Zone. Great to have you on. It's been a while.
Good to be back with you, Lance. Yes, it's nice. It's a pleasure being back on the program. Yes, this fight is, it's taken so many twists and turns to get here. You might recall they had to have there was a legal situation that had to be entangled. And then, of course, you had the situation with regard to Fury's camp having a touch of the COVID back in July. So here we are now. And both men, as you would expect, are spewing out serious amount of damage. In fact, if it carries on the way it's doing, there could probably be a homicide.
Well, let's look at it this way, Al. When they fought first, the bout ended in a draw. Fury had been coming off a 3-year break, was just coming back to his best. So he wasn't at his best, Fury was, when they battled to a draw. In the rematch, Fury was closer to his best, and he beat Wilder convincingly. Does that translate then into this third meeting being Fury, being a heavy favorite, and a logical choice to win again?
Yes, well, he is. The last time I saw, I think he was 1-4 on, with Wilder being 3-1 against. So, yes, it seems as if the individuals, the pundits seem to favor the Gypsy King doing the job on Wilder. You see, if you look back, Lance, on the whole setup of this, both men have shared the ring for 19 rounds. Yes, they went the distance, the 12 rounds, and then Tyson Fury got rid of him in 7 rounds. I cannot really see where any more improvement from the Wilder camp, because they had that amount of time to do damage to Tyson Fury, and they didn't do it.
What do you get the sense will be very different from the last 2 fights? Will there be anything that we can expect?
Yes, when I say different, I think the strategy of the champion will be the same as the last fight. If you recall the first fight, Fury fought the first, I think, 6-7 rounds on the back foot. In the middle rounds, he started to try and mix it up a bit. And then, of course, you recall he got caught He got staggered, and then in that 12th round, he was hammered with a serious right hand punch. But he got up. He got up, and some say he had won. I mean, people like Frank Warren, who is his promoter in England, claim it was a robbery. He should have got the decision. That didn't happen. So hence the fight number 2. He fought on the front foot and gave Wilder a lot of, the bronze bomber, a lot of problems. And I expect that this might well be the same this time round.
Yeah, and there's this narrative that Fury fans may be a bit worried or concerned that he had become complacent after the manner in which he defeated Wilder. Do you think there's any merit to that narrative?
No, I think both men dislike each other intensely as far as the pugilistic arena is concerned. Fury now has a golden opportunity. His biggest rival as far as box office goes in the UK, Anthony Joshua, just last week. So Joshua is now out the picture. Fury beats Wilder again, puts him at the pinnacle of events. He'll truly be the king in the United Kingdom. So he has a lot for him to aspire for this victory. If you look at the situation also with Wilder, it's redemption. Can he really redeem himself? Were there some underlying factors with the last camp which we don't know anything about? He split with Mark Breland after the thing. He claimed it was because Breland threw the towel in too early. And of course, his water was spiked. Gloves were interfered with. I don't like to hear a fighter who complains about all the mishaps after the event. Several fighters go into contests with injuries or some underlying difficulty, and if they lose, they don't use that. Joshua, for example, last week didn't say that Usyk beat him because of a number of underlying situations. The better man won, and I think the better man won when they last fought. And I think that Tyson Fury will have been. He's been in camp. We don't know how bad the COVID-19 situation was. But I think they're professional enough to know. And I'm not so sure that Jonathan Banks can add anything different to Deontay Wilder. I really am not so sure. Himself a former victim of the bronze bomber.
And that's where I wanted to go, Al, because here's the thing. We all know that when it comes to boxing, the art of boxing, Fury really ought not to be in the same ring as Deontay Wilder because he's that superior. The question for you, given all your experience and given what you just said, can Deontay Wilder learn to be a more effective boxer than he has proven so far in his career in the short time between that February defeat and tomorrow night's fight?
That's a pretty big ask, because if you look at the man's record, he's knocked out 41 individuals out of 42 fights. So out of 44 fights, sorry. Now, that signals to me that he relies on power. And a lot of those fights ended very early. In Tyson Fury, he found a man who can move a bit. He's elusive. He takes a good shot. And he also can punch. So I really, every time I try to analyze this and go back into the computer and look as to the opportunity, yes, when you have a man who's knocked out 41 human beings, then you have to, he has got a puncher's chance. There's no ifs and buts about it. He's dangerous. But I think that with what is at stake, I don't see
him closing that gap and closing the skills gap. So then, here's the thing. The last question before we go. Just some key numbers. The Wilder Fury 2 showed that where punches were landed is concerned, Wilder landed 54. Mm-hmm. Fury landed 135. That's 40% more. And then when you look at the key punches thrown by both men over the course of the fight, where the cross is concerned, Wilder landed 6, Fury 21. The jab, Wilder only landed 28 for the whole night, Fury 52. The lead hook, Wilder landed 7, Fury landed 24. The rear hook, Al, Wilder landed 12, Fury landed 30. And for uppercuts, Wilder landed 1, Tyson Fury 8. I'm saying he was outboxed, he was comprehensively outboxed. And if his coaching staff and the changes can't get him to box better, I see him getting frustrated, not having a mark to hit. And I see Fury sauntering to another comfortable victory. What say you?
Yes, I've analyzed it in that fashion, George, because, and I'm listening to Fury, and Fury is saying he's going to be fighting from round 1 on the front foot. If he's on the front foot like he did last time, make no bones about it. I don't care what the excuses were for Deontay Wilder. He was well and truly comprehensively beaten last time. Mm-hmm. He has to come with something really, really special. It would really be an earth-shattering situation. But I must stick with the Gypsy King. There's something about him that just tells me that he has that ability. He's still unbeaten. Yeah, but remember that he's the man who took the titles from Vladimir Klitschko.
Yes.
For me, he's the man. Right now, I think he's the man.
Al, thank you very much for talking to us, and we'll be reviewing this one on Monday for sure. The weigh-in, by the way, just completed, and both men coming in at their highest ever weight scales, coming in at the scales highest ever, 277 pounds for Fury. That's 4 pounds heavier than the last fight with Wilder. And Wilder coming in at 238, which is 7 pounds heavier than he came in last time. Al, we talk to you on Monday probably to review what had happened in Las Vegas on Saturday night. We go to break. Back with more on The Zone after this.